Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, yeah, yeah. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him lacking, run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking day.
Okay, so we're back. I've just been up on the roof, making some progress on the shed. Got the last bay to go and it should be done. So that's exciting. But into the shed now, and basically I've been using like daylight to go to work and then also finish the shed. And then when it gets a bit darker, because it's bloody winter and the sun disappears real fast, I come in here and do some car stuff, and then after a little bit of time I go up and see the family. So it's all going on here. Basically I've just grabbed the steel wire brush and went to town on the exhaust surface areas where it's gonna meet up. And yeah, you got to get all the shit off there so that the weld will actually stick. If you don't do the prep, it won't work. The focus on this is like good at this distance. You go a bit closer. Oh yeah, no, that's good. I'm still learning this new camera. It's the same camera, just better. It's Tom's old one. But yeah, so I prepped up this. It's ugly as, but it's gonna fit on here really well. Goes right there, look at that. That's gonna be mint. I reckon it's gonna weld up real good. Let's put some tacks on there and see what happens. I'm feeling pumped. Get the welder out again. I love having a welder, it's so good. Okay, so we busted out the SIG weld. The only thing I'm not sure on is like how many volts I need and like how to figure out how to get the right voltage, but I guess I'm starting low. The lowest it goes is 12, so I'm thinking if I go like 13, I'm not touching this. I don't know, I think that is the speed of the wire that comes out because it says wire speed, so that makes sense. But the voltage, yeah, not sure, so I'm going to start low and see if it's enough. It is quite thin, the material, but it's welding onto like, there's like thick cast here as well at the bottom, so I don't know, but I'm going to start low and then see how we go and then go from there. But yeah, how cool is this? We're welding two bits of metal together. So I just did a couple of tacks here just to hold it in place. I got my gap pretty close now, so it should actually weld up alright. It's just, yeah, I'm not the best welder, obviously, just figuring this out. But I think the voltage is at like a good amount because that stuck really good. Like, pretty much just leave it at that and send it. Like, it wouldn't sound that good, but mate, she's good. She'll hold, for sure. And now I'm just gonna, like, cause that's tacked in place, so now I'm just gonna work my way from this one to this one and see how it, this focus is shit, and then see how it goes. Alright, me welding is not good, but it is welded together. Jesus. Man, if you've seen Hayden's weld on the other exhaust, it's so good. Obviously I'm going to grind this down so it's not hideous, but man, I'm making my job hard for myself. It's so much grinding to get all that off, and then there's probably still going to be little gaps. So I have much to learn, and when you're just winging it, yeah, it's a long learning process. But anyway, it's fun. I love welding. I need to weld more shit though. I need to weld a lot of stuff, and I need a few tips. So if you have any welding tips, let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna go put the chickens and the ducks away and head up and have some dinner with Zara and Enzo. So it's hard to do car stuff at the moment because I just want to spend time with Enzo. But like, I love both things, so I don't know. I'm just balancing my time out, trying to find like a happy medium. So you would have noticed like I'm doing less videos now, but trying to make them more entertaining. I don't know if they are or not, let me know. That's my toolbox. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna grind that down and hopefully get it in the car and the exhaust will be done. Let's go with that as a plan, and yeah. So, Dad's been at home, Dad's been over, and he's grinded my weld back and then done like another thick as bead around it, so that should hold pretty good. Are you happy with that?
I hope so.
I'm pretty happy with that. Now the next challenge is, yeah, so now you can see exactly the offset that we're dealing with. So that pipe here, this one, has bent in when it was flying around, and so we just got to bend it back out to line up with these bolts here. Hopefully not too hard. When I was hanging off it before, it didn't want to budge, but yeah, we'll see how we go. And then also, just a quick little update. So in the other shed, we got the second hoist lifted in the air and the top plate mounted to it. And it's freaking huge, it's so tall. So now we got another bay with another hoist. And it goes, yeah, it's bloody high. This is a clear floor hoist, so obviously the floor is clear. So the hydraulics run over the top and the cable, and then, oh, just the hydraulics. There is no cable. Hydraulics run over the top, whereas with the other style of hoist, which is here, the cables run underneath and a hydraulic lines underneath, and then on the top it's all free. So the downside of this is whenever you want to roll a car under there, it's like another bump you have to get over, and then also when you're working under it, that gets in the way, and like your wheels of your transmission jack get in the way. But this one here, it's just, yeah, there's nothing in your way. So nice. It's the same sort of setup as I have in the other shed with the R32 hoist. So this one definitely is the most desired out of these two. But yeah, so we've got hoist, spare, hoist, and then spare. I was going to put 4 hoists in here, but I think 2 will do for now. And yeah, I'm just going to, these are 3-phase, so I'm going to change them over to 240 and unbolt all this jazz and just chuck an eBay pump on there, like $317. So that's a good deal, and I'll just grab 2 in a week or 2 when I can afford that and chuck those on. But yeah, some progress.
Yep.
Yeah.
Progress.
Now back to car things. So I was like, how the hell are we going to do this? Dad's like, oh, have you got one of those little scissor jacks? Yep, got it out of the BT50. One person held it in here, and then we just spread it apart, and it just bent it straight across here. Went a little bit further so that when it springs back, it's in the right spot. And then now, voila, put some bolts in that. Just got to fix the back of it. Just got to get another rubber and then re-weld this, and the exhaust done. That's exciting because I wasn't worried about it, but I wasn't sure about it. You know when you're just not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we figured it out. That's good news. Alright, sick. Alright, so we're back down in the shed working on the S13. It's been a few days. I've tidied up a heap of things underneath. All the bolts were loose again. Well, not all of them, but a few of them were loose again. Tightened them. Did a bolt check over the whole thing, so everything's nice and tight. Also, this is the top angle from here, so you can't really see, but the exhaust isn't bumping against the freaking chassis rail anymore, which is nice. And the exhaust is all done, all bolted up, done. Now, moving on to the wiring. So this is what I currently have. If you watched other episodes, you would have seen that I had some wiring issues. Basically, the circuit was overloading because I've got 2 fans now. It only came with 1, and then I chucked 2 fans in there and didn't upgrade the wiring or anything, or the circuit or whatever, because I thought it was just the 1 circuit and it was working fine. Turns out definitely need 2 feeds and 2 relays with 2 fuses, 1 for each fan, because these fans, they're Spal, don't even know what size they are, but they're pretty beefy and they pull a shitload of current. So compared to the other fan that was there anyway. So what I'm going to do, they've actually ran the main feed 12 volt wire supply off the alternator there. So I'm going to run a second one next to that, bring it up here. I've got 2 relays that I'm going to whack in there. And they got fuses mounted on the top, which is pretty freaking cool. They're over here, these ones. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Seen them at japcar. And then yeah, just got to put the terminals on the bottom, mount those two in here, and then yeah, it should be nice and pretty. It is going to cop the weather still, which isn't ideal, but it should last like quite a long time. And then run some new wires from here down to the fans, thicker wires, so that it doesn't melt the wire. So yeah, got some heaps hectic thick wires here. Bunch of shit here, this and that shit there. So let's go. Alrighty, so now we got two new relays wired in. I haven't fixed them off yet because we've got to test it first. I'd hate to have to pull something off and on again, like this earth terminal that I forgot a couple of times. Anyway, new heavier gauge wire there. Looks like an absolute mess, but I know where it goes. And the wires are all thicker. Ran a second power wire from down off the alternator there, so it's getting like a good solid 12 volts with like barely any loss on it. One to each relay, and then they go down to the fans. And then you got a thinner wire that comes from the ignition, or well, from the switch that goes up there. And so now let's test it. Right, so kill switch, power, ignition. I think you need ignition on, or let's just try it without it. No, they work. So we've got two fans pumping. Really? Yeah, they're working really good. The freaking weapons, eh? Yeehaw! So that means, turn that off. That means, so what that means is we'll be able to go around Archie over and over without having any overheating problems. The only thing that we're going to have problems with is the tires melting. So I'm going to have to come in and rotate them, like switch this side to that side, get a bit of life out of the tires rather than just melt them. But that's another thing done. So I was just testing that. I'm also off camera, I'm going to test the current draw on these fans, just because I think it was 15 amps and I got 30 amp fuse in there. So I'll probably change those to 15s, but I'll measure the current draw first, and then put the adequate fuse in there so that it protects the circuit properly. But that's freaking a wrap. I'm gonna finish this episode here because it's already going on for ages. These episodes always do. I don't know how the hell YouTube wants you to keep it like in algorithm. They want you to make a video in 10 minutes or less. Like, I don't know how you're gonna do that with car shit. It would be, I don't know. But yeah, if you like these long vast videos, let me know in the comments. If you want a shorter video, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment below. See you on the next one, subscribe.
Fuck you!
I'm pretty sure we lost the rear bumper bar again.
Oh man, that was fucking ruthless, G. Jesus Christ, that's so much fucking power, bro. Oh my goodness.
It's only 316 horsepower. Oh man, what do you think of that?
It was a fucking sin.
Yeah.
It was a fucking sin, bro.